For my independent reading, I decided to read Wolf of Wall Street by Jordan Belfort. It is classified under a nonfiction or autobiography title, and it was published in September of 2007. The story is about Jordan Belfort, an investment broker that started his own firm called Stratton Oakmont, and he is one of the biggest, the new hottest things on the block, and he is based in Long Island, New York. He has gotten in trouble with drugs, law, a lot of things. This main story of the book is evading the police and the FBI and figuring out a way just to make money. What I liked about this book is the combination between the so-called rise to stardom of American Dream and the absolute hilarious acts that are constantly displayed, such as like hookers, drugs, etc. Like enough to throw you back in your seat. Not to mention this whole entire book is hilarious. Even the sad parts I would mention. What I disliked about this book was just a little lack of backstory. If you ever watched the movie, you got a little bit before, but in this, it picks up with Jordan right as Steve Madden Shoes is about to hit the open market, and you never really hear about Jordan and what he did before, but it still does a good job of highlighting those, and also like a lot of his acquaintances you don't really hear, or you hear where they're from, but you don't really like image where they're from. One of my first figures of speech is a simile. Like a dog in the heat, I searched all 24 rooms of the mansion for Mommy. In fact, I searched every nook and cranny of all 6 acres of the estate until finally, reluctantly, with all great sadness, I called off my search. It was almost 9 o'clock, and I had to get to work. So why does the simile seem important? It's almost as if, like, if you imagine yourself like in a dog in a sweatshop, like you're constantly trying to find a way out and you can't really decide what to do, your brain's wandering and everything like that. The second figure of speech I have is a metaphor. Said, I rolled my eyes and shook my head in disgust. So why don't you ever fucking forget that phone is sitting on your desk? It is a deadly weapon. And in the hands of a motivated Strattonite, it's a license to print money, and it's the great equalizer. I paused, letting those last 2 words reverberate around the boardroom, and then I kept right on going. So why is this important? So at this point, he's talking to his crew, and he's trying just to find the words from God and trying to figure out what is going to strike their minds and be motivated. So I honestly think that was a great act by him, and it really set the tone in the book. The first tone excerpt I have is, at 1 p.m. the geniuses sat down at the National Association of Security Dealers, aka the NASD, realized Steve Madden Shoes were trading on the NASDAQ stock exchange under the 4-letter trading symbol SHOO, pronounced shoe. How cute and appropriate that was. This adds a little humor to the book. Just low-key humor is what I really enjoy in life. But it adds a little funniness to the stock exchange of Steve Madden Shoe. This is my last tone. Either way, you couldn't really question my logic in the matter. By 1:03 p.m., just 3 minutes after I'd bought back my rat hole units at $5.50 per, the rest of Wall Street had already given the units up to $18. That meant I had locked in a profit of $12.5 million. $12.5 million in 3 minutes. This is just a little bit of attitude towards himself, how highly he thinks of him. He pulls off these courageous and extremely illegal acts that he thinks very highly of himself, and it's very shown in the book. Would I recommend this book? Definitely. I would definitely recommend this book to any type of business-minded young person. It's very, very interesting. It's absolutely hilarious, and it's something that actually happened. So I would, even though I don't read much at all, I very much enjoyed this book. If you don't think you might enjoy the book, maybe go and watch the movie and see how you feel after that. What age is this book best suited for? I would say right around high school age is typically what you're gonna look for. It's a very vulgar book. There's a lot of swearing. There's a lot of sex. There's a lot of drugs. Um, but nowadays, where can you avoid that at this age? Uh, it is a very, very good book. It's not too, I would say, hard to read. There's not very many big words or anything like that are hard to understand. But even that's not that bad. So I highly recommend this. Definitely not to little kids though. That would not turn out well. What personal experiences did you bring to this book, and how did a Texan situation affect your interaction with the book? Um, I didn't bring too much to this. Just honestly, just basic interest. I watched the movie Wolf of Wall Street, and it was very very good. It stars Leonardo DiCaprio, all-time favorite movie in my book. Um, but I did bring a little bit of interest. I've always been interested in the stock market and economic trends and how that stuff works. But in terms of all the legal stuff that goes on, it's uh, I've never done half the stuff in there. I don't know, but it's very interesting to read, and I would highly recommend anybody that is. I don't read a lot, but I very much enjoyed this book, and from what experiences I had, I enjoyed it.